I have got newfound respect for people who can talk for 10 minutes in a row to a camera. Um, it might help if I had a subject to talk about. I guess work is one thing. I don't know about work. It's very weird. One day I'm liking it. Most of them I'm not. It's weird. It's like I'm on a crossroad. I can go the normie route. I can just work my job, get my money, uh, do well for myself, and get a wife, get some children. That's one route to take. It's the classic, not so classic anymore, route that people take. Or the other one is the one I have been living for the past few years. It's one where basically I work 7 months out of the year or something, or longer, maybe a year, and then I quit. I cash in unemployment benefits, a couple months, and in those months I just get to live the dream, which is just reading a lot more. I barely read when I'm working. I can practice the harmonica, which I'm not doing anymore because I come home at 4:30. I shower. I do groceries. I just make food, sit in front of a computer, and just wait till the day is over. That's life when waging, or you actually have to do something, go out, which is not doesn't cost a lot of energy. That's not the reason I don't do it. It's more that what do you do? Honestly, uh, I can sometimes I go over to like a friend, but that's like rare anymore. I think I think that's a thing a lot of people in the 20s find out. It's you're not or late 20s. You're not spending a whole lot of time doing a lot of cool stuff. Like that's maybe in the vacation that you end up doing that, or you take a couple days off. But normal day-to-day life is very different from early 20s or teens. So it's usually pretty boring. People tend to lead boring lives. People at my work too. They watch TV. Most of them, not all. But they just come home, they chill out, and that's it. That's it for life, I guess. They take a vacation once a year, and then that's it. It's life is. I never had really since my like 14-year old. Uh, I haven't really thought about life as in is it worth it? What is it like when you die? Like existential thoughts. I usually just brush it aside. It's not really relevant, I thought. And, what are you going to do anyway? But now that I have a job for a longer period and you just feel yourself going through the motions, it's something that creeps up again. The idea, like, what is the end goal here? What are you doing it for? Just to stay alive? Because if it's just to stay alive, I can do what I talked about earlier and work a year, take a couple months off, just chill, do whatever you like, and do that till you die. But for some reason that doesn't seem enough to me. It it's tough because it's a real choice. Like I'm 27. Now is usually the time when you really settle down, buy a house, get married, stuff like that. Maybe it's later now, but still, those are things that are coming up in the next few years or not. And I'm not sure if I'm okay with that not happening. But on the other hand, once you get married and have kids, like you're pretty much sealed in. You gotta work. You can't just quit. People depend on you. It's a big choice. It's something honestly people shouldn't even think about. In the past, people didn't think about it. It just happened because you didn't have contraception. So you didn't have that choice. It was either stay celibate or make someone pregnant without wanting it. That was the a perfect system, I think. Now there's too much choice. You get to plan your life, which is kind of insane. That wasn't usually the situation before either. Uh, you grow up very rural, and it was a given that your life was completely planned out, and you knew that. You do not have autonomy. You will take over the family business. Your parents will find you a wife, and you can map out your life like that. But it's a different kind of a planned life than now. It's way more guided. Right now, it's we're living in a kind of in between space where you have to do a lot of things yourself. It's nobody's helping you, and I think what you're gonna see is a lot of people fall through the cracks, and they will realize later, rather than sooner, that they missed out on a lot or a very important stage of their life where they should be developing and honestly preparing for a life that is more typical with children and a wife and such, owning property. I think maybe not my generation, or maybe my generation, millennials, but for sure the one below that, Zoomers, they will have a very different life. It's no one's stopping them, dude, and the people on top, honestly, they like it. Just they love saddling people up with debt. They do not care. There's not a single honest country or politician I've heard of that wants to tackle debt. I think it's great. It's just awesome. That's how you get growth. Just people don't have money to spend. Great. Just let them collect more debt. That way, we'll get the country to grow. So, but it will have a serious consequence. Me, I don't have debt. Good. I saved money, like honestly, not because I'm very frugal or whatever. I am kind of frugal, but it's because my hobbies do not demand a lot of money. And well, what am I gonna do with money is the question. I can buy a house, maybe. I get a big ass mortgage, which would mean I'd be in a big debt. Or I can just live the life I described earlier, where work a year, take a couple months off, do it like that. But if you do that, it's I usually say like you live beyond your 40s. So it's fun to do when you're 25, 26, live on your own, have a couple months off, awesome stuff. But it sounds different when you're 46, childless, without a wife, and you're unemployed for a couple months. Maybe that's all just perception, but to me, it does not sound like a successful life, I guess. It depends what you consider success. I think I'm more socialized than than I have to be to consider that a good life, I guess.